What's going on, guys? My name is Wade with Tech Daily. So one of the main reasons Samsung offers a Galaxy Note 8 is of course for the S Pen. It's one of the only smartphones nowadays that ships with any sort of stylus. But for some people, the S Pen is reason enough and perhaps the deciding factor in choosing the Note 8 over any other device. But if you're still undecided, or maybe just curious why the Note 8 comes with the S Pen, or maybe wondering what it can do at all, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through basically everything that the S Pen is capable of doing and the software, apps, and features that go along with it, so that you can maybe decide if it's something that will enhance your day-to-day use with this device. Now, anytime you pop out the S Pen when you're in the middle of using the Note, you're greeted by a wheel of options from the sidebar. There's a lot to choose from, some pretty useful and some not so much, and there's also even more you can add to this list. But before we even get into these apps, we'll start with the S Pen capabilities when the Note 8 is locked. Right from the lock screen, when you pull out the S Pen, the device launches the Notes app. You're given a blank canvas to write or draw out anything you need to, which is convenient since you don't have to unlock the device at all. It's intended for quick, on-the-spot note-taking. You have a seemingly infinite scrolling page of note-taking space, and when you're done, you have a few options for the notes you just wrote. You can, of course, save what's written into the Notes app or discard it, but you can also pin your new note right to the lock screen. This is a good option for ensuring that whatever you just wrote down isn't quickly forgotten or lost in your pages and pages of other notes. If you need to immediately glance at the notes you just wrote or want to pin a reminder to your lock screen, it's all right there in front of you. The S Pen's primary use is a full-fledged stylus, so you can interact with anything on your phone the same way you would with your finger. It's more precise and might eliminate smudges, I guess, but tapping to open apps or scroll through a web page with a stylus isn't particularly useful or interesting. It's just kind of an option if you want it. The real options come out when you open up the S Pen specific apps and features from the menu on the side. From here, you can choose from up to 8 preset apps that were made specifically for use with the S Pen. The first app is Notes again, of course. You can quickly jot down and save whatever you want, and below that, you also have a shortcut to immediately view any and all notes you created and have saved. I know that notes aren't all that exciting, but for some folks, writing stuff out rather than typing might be easier, quicker, and more convenient for them. The next feature you can launch is called Smart Select, and this has a few cool options. In any app you have open, including videos or complex web pages, you can basically take a screenshot of whatever you see. It'll remain on screen until you decide what to do with it, either save it or send it to a friend or whatever. And along with simple screenshots, you can also record up to 15 seconds of video. So you can record a web clip, for example, and save it for later, or send part of a video to a friend. And generally speaking, this is probably one of the more useful features just because of how quick and easy it is to capture whatever you need to on the screen. Along the same lines as the Notes app, you can also launch ScreenWrite, which just allows you to write on whatever is currently displayed on the screen, and then save it for later if you need to. It's a good option for writing out edits on a page or pointing out something precise that you want to send someone. Below that is Live Messages, which Samsung seems to have taken from Apple's playbook on the Apple Watch with what they call digital touch sketches, but basically you can write out and send fun messages or drawings that are played back as a sketch. This is not something I personally use since typing out a message is usually just fine, but it is an option if you're into that nonetheless. Another one of the more useful features is Translate, and this allows you to translate any text in another language in real time. So if you're reading a web page in another language, for example, you simply need to hover the S Pen over whatever word you need translated, and it's instantly given to you via Google Translate with some speech options too. Now, translating word by word isn't all that effective if you need to have a whole paragraph or page translated at once, and that's where Bixby Vision comes in. The only useful Bixby Vision option, in my opinion, is the ability to translate full paragraphs and pages, but Bixby is still kind of bad, and it isn't something I've used just on principle more than anything. At the very bottom of the wheel, you're given the option to add and edit your S Pen shortcuts, and this is where you'll find a couple more S Pen specific apps and features. You can also just add shortcuts to any of your most used apps too if you want, but I personally stuck with having the S Pen specific stuff since I won't use the S Pen for anything else other than for the stuff that it's made for. The couple hidden abilities that you need to add manually include the magnifying option, which upon hovering the S Pen around the screen magnifies whatever you're looking at with a few different zoom options if you really need to get up close. There's also glance, which is kind of interesting. I don't want to call it multitasking exactly because it isn't quite that, but it allows you to temporarily temporarily minimize an app while you look at something else. And then you can simply just bring that app back to the front. And finally, of course, there's more or less an entire adult coloring book that comes standard if you just want to doodle and color with the S Pen. Not a bad way to kill some time, but I'd imagine anyone who is really into art would use a more professional third-party app. So there you go. That's basically everything the S Pen on the Note 8 is capable of out of the box using just the software and apps that come pre-installed on the device. Of course, you can always download some third-party apps in the Google Play Store for even more S Pen capabilities, but these are all the kinds of things that Samsung hopes users might get some value out of in choosing the Note 8. If you guys have any questions, or if you think I might have missed something, let me know in the comments below. Also, be sure to follow Tech Daily on Twitter, and subscribe to the Tech Daily YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later.